Dan and Kyle. And Kyle, there's something I said about last year's Toronto Blue Jays, and that was, well, they're never boring. And we can say that after one game in the books. It was not a boring finish once again as the Blue Jays beat they aren't even the Oakland A's. They're just the Athletics now, 3-2 with a walk-off hit in the bottom of the ninth.
Once again, the bottom of the lineup gets it done, Dan. And, for a lot of this night, it did seem like it was kind of a boring game, which you can forgive them after, waiting through a 40-minute opening presentation, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But, the hallmark of this team last year was finding a way to get it done with
Mhm.
different guys doing it every night. And I think there's a lot of pros, only a couple of cons from tonight. And they put one W on the board, and that's what matters, especially in this division they play with their competition also doing so already this year.
So let's break down the ninth inning. That's where everything happened. Hoffman comes in to close it out up 2-1, gives up a dinger. The last time we saw Hoffman, he gave up a dinger in the World Series. So he leaves it to his team to bail him out after a Kevin Gausman gem in which he struck out 11. And then the Blue Jays did nothing the first two batters. And then they manufacture a run with two outs, and Kaz Okamoto, the new Jay, playing third, scores that winning run after already collecting a hit earlier in the game. He finishes his first game in the big leagues with two hits. I said to Keegs, this guy is going to be a superstar. He has already won in Japan, and he's well on his way after one game in the books.
The Jays had only 7 hits tonight, Dan, and 2 each for the last 3 guys in the batting order, of course, including Kaz, who also had a couple of very, very good defensive plays tonight, looked right at home in this lineup. Batting far down the order, which was probably a pretty decent move to remove some of that initial game pressure for him. But they manufactured the run, exactly what you said. They did all that they did down the stretch last year. It was, I blinked and it was 2025 all over again. Hoffman's blowing a save. The bottom of the order is getting it done. They're not cracking under pressure. They did a lot of good things. One thing I like that they did top to bottom in the lineup for the most part was they continued to see a lot of pitches at the plate. And that was true almost 1 through 9. They worked counts really well, picked up where they left off. But again, an exciting brand of baseball, saw it through to the end, made it dramatic for us, but hey, why not? Because there wasn't much up until then.
We saw the first ever pitch challenge in
Yeah.
Jays history. It went the Jays way, and the way it is done expediently was fantastic. Just like we were told, it's just like in tennis, where you see if the ball hits the line in real time, everyone can see it together. I love this addition, and I
Yeah.
love that it's not overused. That was the only time all game it was used.
Yeah, and then the broadcast team was actually stating right before then that they figured there'd be about an average of 4 challenges per game in these, and that was the first one. I think the back catcher is always going to have the best call of that because he's directly over the plate. He's closest to it. He's receiving the ball. No hitter challenged it tonight. I was a bit surprised, but I thought, generally speaking, on that regard, the umpiring was pretty good tonight. They were pretty spot on with the strike zone. I did notice Sportsnet dropped their own outline strike zone box for at least an inning there or so, but they were certainly much better than Netflix because we actually got to see the ABS challenge being shown to the stadium.
Blue Jays are, in a way, lucky that they did win this game because the fact the left fielder and center fielder for the A's, both of them forgot to call a ball, and that's how the Jays got their first 2 runs of the ball game. And Joe Siddle, excellent in the booth. I knew he would be, and all the games he filled in for Buck Martinez. He is fantastic. He
Yeah.
doesn't dumb the game down, but he talks about baseball and analyzes it so it doesn't go over people's heads. So those are the positives. Now, Kyle, I want to bring out some negatives. I'm sorry to do this.
Please.
The opening game theatrics. The Toronto Blue Jays, for some reason, drop the ball every time they have the opportunity. They just drag it out. If you've ever been to a game at the Bell Center in Montreal, the Habs know how to do pomp and circumstance. It is efficient. There's no delays. It is boom, boom, boom. Emotions out, anthems, here we go. The
There were 2
Jays don't know how to do that. Everything is drawn out. There's so many lulls. I
Mm.
just wish they could figure that part out. I know it's only one game a year, but
Yeah.
come on, guys and girls.
There were only two parts of it that I really loved. I did like the collage of videos they showed from fans around there because you could see the players intensely paying attention to it,
Mhm,
and it gave them reason to start this journey all over again. I really liked the effect of that. I really liked when Vlad and George went on the mic. I think it added a very personal touch from fan to player for that, but it was 15 minutes too long, Dan.
mhm.
And it just kind of took a bit of the wind out of the game, and we saw that until late in the game there just wasn't much happening other than a brilliant performance by Kevin Gausman.
And we just saw the shot of the banners. I thought they'd take the wild card banner down. They had combined them all into
I think
one.
that's
So they did
yeah,
that. They combined them all into one, but I thought they were going to take it down.
it's a bit of a consolation prize trophy, but I guess you got to show it. You maybe it helps sell tickets that the people are investing in the future of the team. Hey, this is a playoff baseball team, despite being stuck in the most difficult division, perhaps in all of professional sports.
The other thing is the Hoffman elephant in the
Uh,
room. I know it's game one. I know he's the closer, but how long is his leash this year? He lost his job essentially, but earned it back. No, I correct myself. He was he was never taken out of his job. It was his to gain the confidence back in front of us all last year in the postseason. And we know how that ended. His last batter he faced, he gave up a home run in the World Series. Now he comes in his first save opportunity, game one, and he gives up a home run in that appearance. How long will we have to sit through this until it's not nail biting, near heart attack every single time he enters a game?
Dan, it's very tough to critique a guy who struck out four guys in one inning tonight in his own
Yeah, he
appearance,
did
but
get four Ks.
he got four Ks in that ninth inning, but he also gave up the game tying home run. I've always thought of the closer in baseball very similar in mindset to a goaltender in the NHL. They're just a different sort of breed of cat, but when they get off their game, it slides and it's very tough to get back aligned with that type of dominant mindset you have to close out a Major League Baseball game night after night after night. To blow his first save of the year, I'm very concerned with the precedent that sets for him moving forward, considering the way last season ended.
And players, cameras are always on them. And when that happens to your closer where it's happened before, you have to sit like a rock, no facial reaction. But they are human. They're thinking exactly what we're
Mhm.
thinking. Again? We're doing this again?
You could hear it in the stadium. It was the air just got sucked out of the entire place. It's just like, oh no, we're doing this again and
But at the
everything.
same time, were you just like me? I'm like, well, the Jays are still going to win this. That's how much confidence I have in this team. I said they're still going to win. It just prolongs my bedtime.
I didn't think that until his fourth K, Dan, to be perfectly honest for you. I genuinely was concerned that they would also go on to give up the go ahead run. I was quite confident once they went into the bottom of the ninth, given that their best part of the order, the 7, 8, 9, were eventually going to hit anything. It, yeah, it's tough, man. Like, I don't like to take away, like, holy moly, it's one of 162,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But it can't go unsaid because it's just a continuation of what we saw last year. It's got to be kept an eye on. I mean, this could get out of hand very, very quickly, and I'm sure the words in the clubhouse right now are, "Oh, it's no big deal, no big panic." But I'm sure the words behind closed doors right now are, "We're keeping a close eye on this."
Well, it's analytics. It's the manager. John Schneider has it written down like, okay, we can only let it get to this point because they have a contingency plan in place. He wouldn't be a manager if they didn't already know who would take over in that role. But yeah, it's game one, as you said. Maybe it's just a blip on the radar. Everything worked out okay. Kaz scored the winning run. We got to see a 5-hour opening presentation in which not once during the broadcast, at least that I saw, and I think I saw the whole thing, They didn't use it as a timeshare opportunity to show the new 200 level. So we didn't have to sit through stadium renovation updates. So all in all, a great opening night. Just a few glitches.
That's the 200 level tour is actually the opener for tomorrow's game, Dan. Just so don't get too far ahead of yourself there.
Remember how
Listen,
many times? What's the one the new seats down the right field line? How many times they wandered through that with a camera and said, "Yeah, it's a great experience down here." That was about 20% of every broadcast last season.
yeah, it was very interesting. Listen, I want to move into something positive and like
Yes.
Kevin Gausman gets his first opening day start for the Toronto Blue Jays during his tenure here, a city he has grown to love, a city that has grown to love him. And he could not. He threw one bad pitch that was hit for a home run to a good hitter. And other than that, 11 Ks. He was working counts nicely. He was moving his pitches around. He was mixing them up well. He had, let's not confuse the Oakland A's recent history with the fact that they have a very good offensive baseball team. And Kevin Gausman was completely dominant tonight. Given where this rotation is at the start of the season, you could not possibly be happier as a Jays fan, right? With that,
Couldn't have picked a more perfect representative of the team, of last year's team to get that start. And the fact that he strikes at 11, I wish well, things are going right when he gets taken out of the game in the dugout. If you're taken out in the game, something has usually gone wrong. So he didn't get that opportunity, and the fans didn't get a chance to show him their love. But that's going to happen throughout the year. He will get plenty of starts, obviously, as the Jays start the season 1-0, a walk-off win in game number one. And I like, as you said, Kyle, we keep it positive. I just needed to get the opening ceremony and the Hoffman experience out of my system.
right there with you, buddy. Honestly, I want to close with one thought for you here
Yes.
about something that was said. It was shown during the pregame, something that Schneider had called the team into a meeting earlier this year, and this is kind of like something that Jays fan need to realize this year. And this is a quote Schneider stole from Springer previously. And he said, once you hang a banner, you hang a bullseye. And that's this team going into this season. They really do have to let go of what happened last year, where they were kind of this fun Cinderella story down the stretch and they went in, because they don't get to sneak into stadiums now. They don't get to have low key series where media doesn't follow them on the road. They don't get personal space in their own hometown anymore. All eyes are on this Blue Jays team. They have a big target on their back. They're a team that young players are going to want to come in and perform against. They're a team that every team will benchmark themselves against. And night in and night out, they're going to have to prove that they can find, like the end of last season, multiple different ways to win baseball games.
And their popularity due to their season last year
Yeah.
is going to hurt them, because a lot of these teams are going to come into Toronto in June, July to a packed house and look around and say, wow, you guys get fans. And
Exactly.
you don't think that charges up a Major League Baseball player playing in front of a packed house? Oh, man. So they've got that going against them as well.
Especially looking up at that new 200 level, Dan.
Yeah, that's right, baby. We'll see much more of it this weekend. As for Colin, I will see you on Toronto Sports Rush on Monday.
See you then.